Hello, and welcome back to the Everyday English Podcast. I am so glad you are joining us today for another deep dive session. If you are listening to this on your commute, while doing dishes, or just relaxing with a cup of coffee, you are in the right place to build your fluency. I'm Sarah, and as always, I am here to help you live your daily life in English. And I'm Mark. Hello, everyone. It is great to be back. You know, Sarah, I was actually running a little bit late today. The traffic was absolutely terrible downtown, and then I couldn't find a parking spot, and then I realized I forgot my coffee. It was a whole disaster. Mark, stop right there. I have to interrupt you. Do you hear what you are doing right now? What am I doing? I am just explaining why I was almost late. I am being polite, right? I am giving you the reasons. Well, Mark, that is actually the perfect introduction to today's topic. You see, what you just did is what we call the excuse trap. You gave me a list of reasons: traffic, parking, coffee. As your friend, I have empathy for you. I feel bad for you. But imagine if I were your boss. Imagine if we were in a high-stakes business meeting and you walked in 5 minutes late and said exactly what you just said. How would that sound? I guess it might sound a bit unprofessional, like I am complaining. Exactly. It sounds like you are not in control of your day. It sounds like life is happening to you rather than you managing your life. And that is what we are talking about today. In our last episode, we talked about general apologies, how to say sorry to friends and family. But the workplace is different. Using those same friendly excuses with a client or a supervisor can actually damage your reputation. Today, we are going to learn professional damage control. That sounds serious, professional damage control. So we are moving from casual "I'm sorry" to professional "I take ownership." That is right. We are going to help you upgrade your vocabulary. We want you to stop making excuses and start building trust, even when you make a mistake. Because let's be honest, Mark, we all make mistakes. We all are late sometimes. We all miss deadlines. The difference between a junior employee and a leader is not that the leader is perfect. It's how the leader communicates the mistake. I love that. So it's not about being perfect. It's about how you handle the imperfection. I'm ready to learn. Where do we start? We need to start with the mindset shift. The biggest mistake English learners make, and actually many native speakers make this mistake too, is over-explaining the problem. When you are late, you feel guilty. So your instinct is to tell a story to prove it wasn't your fault. You want to say, the bus broke down, or my alarm didn't go off. You think this makes you look innocent. Right, if I say the bus broke down, then obviously you can't be mad at me. It was the bus's fault. But in a professional context, your boss pays you to manage the bus schedule. Your boss pays you to have a backup alarm. When you give a long list of reasons, it sounds like you are making yourself a victim of circumstance. In business English, we want to sound active, not passive. We want to sound reliable. So the first rule of professional damage control is do not blame the universe. Keep the reason short or skip it entirely. Skip it entirely? Really? Just say, I'm late and that is it? Not exactly. You need to replace the excuse with something else. And this brings us to our first major technique today. I call it the pivot. The pivot. Okay, like in basketball, you turn around? Yes, exactly. You turn the conversation around. You pivot from the negative to the positive. Specifically, you pivot from I'm sorry to thank you. Wait, hold on. If I am late, I should say thank you? That sounds polite, but doesn't it sound arrogant, like I am happy I am late? It sounds strange at first, I know, but listen to the difference. I am going to give you two versions of the same situation. You tell me which employee you respect more. Scenario A, you are 5 minutes late to a meeting with a client. You rush in, you look sweaty and nervous, and you say, oh my gosh, I am so sorry I'm late. The traffic was a nightmare and the elevator was broken. I am so sorry. Okay, that is scenario A. I feel a bit stressed just listening to it. Now scenario B, you walk in calmly, you make eye contact, you sit down and say, thank you so much for your patience. I appreciate you waiting. Shall we get started? Wow, that is completely different energy. Scenario B feels powerful. It feels like the person is in charge. Exactly. When you say, I'm sorry, you are highlighting your mistake. You are reminding everyone that you did something wrong. You are making the room feel awkward. But when you say, thank you for your patience or thank you for waiting, you are highlighting the other person's virtue.
You are complimenting them on being patient. You turn a negative moment into a positive interaction. That is really clever. You are validating them instead of degrading yourself. So, sorry I'm late becomes thank you for waiting. What about other situations? What if I reply to an email 3 days late? That is a very common one. We all have overflowing inboxes. The amateur way to handle it is to write, sorry for the delay, I have been so busy with other projects and I didn't see your email.
I have definitely written that email before. It feels honest. It is honest, but it tells the client, you are not my priority. It tells them my other work is more important than you. Instead, try the pivot. Write, thank you for your patience while I gathered the information for you. Oh, I like that. Thank you for your patience. It implies that you are working, not just ignoring them. Precisely. Or simply, thank you for bearing with me. To bear with someone is a great phrasal verb. It means to be patient during a difficult or slow time. Thank you for bearing with me during this busy week. It sounds professional, warm, and controlled. Thank you for bearing with me. Everyone listening, I want you to try that right now. Just shadow mark. Thank you for bearing with me. It is a great phrase to have in your pocket. Okay, Sarah, so that is the pivot. Move from apologies to gratitude. But surely there are times when thank you isn't enough. What if I really messed up? What if I deleted an important file or cost the company money? You are right. If the mistake is serious, a simple thank you might sound dismissive. In those cases, you need to apologize, but you need to do it with what I call ownership grammar. Ownership grammar. That sounds like a sophisticated concept. What does that look like? To explain this, I think we should do a listening simulation. I want our listeners to hear the difference. Let's pretend, Mark, that you lost an important report that was due today. I am your boss. I want you to give me the bad news using the old way, the weak way. Okay, I can do that. Let me get into character. I am the nervous, excuse-making employee. Here we go. Hey, Sarah. So about the report, yeah, basically my computer crashed yesterday and I thought it saved, but it didn't. And then IT wasn't answering the phone. So yeah, I don't have it yet. Sorry. Okay, cut. How did that feel, Mark? It felt terrible. I felt like a teenager explaining why I didn't do my homework. I blamed the computer, I blamed the autosave feature, and I blamed the IT department. Exactly. You used what we call external blame. You pushed the fault onto everything except yourself. As a boss, when I hear that, I think, this person cannot solve problems. This person panics. Now, let's try it again. I want you to use ownership grammar. I want you to use phrases like, I take full responsibility, and it was an oversight. And most importantly, I want you to propose a solution. Okay, let me try. Deep breath. Professional mode on. Hi, Sarah. I want to give you an update on the report. Unfortunately, there has been a delay, and I do not have the final draft ready for you this morning. This was an oversight on my end regarding the file backups. I take full responsibility. However, I have already contacted IT, recovered the data, and I will have the completed report on your desk by 4 p.m. today. Wow, Mark, I would promote that employee. That was excellent. Really? Even though I was still late? Yes, because you did 3 things perfectly in that second version. Listeners, did you catch them? Let's break it down. First, Mark used direct, clear language. He said there has been a delay. He didn't hide it. He didn't say, well, maybe it might be ready soon. He was direct. Second, he used a magic phrase. I take full responsibility. I take full responsibility. That is a heavy phrase. It feels scary to say. It is scary, but it builds immense respect. When you say, I take full responsibility, you are telling your boss, I am an adult. I own my actions. It stops the boss from being angry because there is no one else to blame. You have already accepted the blame. And then Mark used another great noun, oversight. He said, this was an oversight on my end. Oversight. O-V-E-R-S-I-G-H-T. What exactly does that mean in this context? An oversight is a mistake made because you forgot something or didn't notice something. It is a professional way of saying, I messed up or I forgot. Instead of saying, I forgot to save the file, which sounds careless, you say, it was an oversight regarding the file backups. It sounds technical and objective rather than personal and sloppy. I see. It removes the emotion from it. It was an oversight. It sounds like a solvable problem, not a character flaw. Exactly. And the third thing you did, Mark, was the most important. You gave me an action plan. You said, I will have it on your desk by 4 p.m. You gave me a solution and a timeline. This is the core formula for professional damage control. We call it the AST formula. AST. AST. Okay, tell us what that stands for. A is for acknowledge. You admit the mistake clearly.
I missed the deadline. I was late. The file is incorrect. No fluff, no excuses. S is for solution. You tell me what you are doing to fix it right now. T is for timeline. You tell me when the fix will be finished. Acknowledge, solution, timeline. AST. That is really easy to remember. Let's practice this with another scenario. Imagine you sent an email to a client with the wrong price attached. It is embarrassing. A weak apology would be, "Sorry, I clicked the wrong file. I was in a rush." Right, that is the excuse trap. "I was in a rush" makes you look disorganized. So Mark, use the AST formula. Acknowledge the mistake, give the solution, give the timeline.
Okay, let me think. Acknowledge. I apologize, I sent you the incorrect pricing sheet. Solution. I have created the correct invoice. Timeline. I am attaching it to this email right now. So altogether, I apologize for sending the incorrect pricing sheet. I have corrected the document and the right version is attached to this email. Please disregard the previous one. Perfect. That is clean, professional, and effective. The client isn't thinking about your mistake. They are thinking about the solution. You have guided their brain to the fix, not the problem. This is really transforming how I think about apologies. It is less about feeling bad and more about fixing things. But Sarah, I have a question. What if I use these phrases? I take full responsibility, it was an oversight, but I keep making the same mistake. That is a crucial point, Mark. Language is powerful, but it is not magic. If you are late every single day, saying "thank you for your patience" will eventually stop working. People will just think you are rude. These techniques are for damage control when mistakes happen, because they happen to everyone. But they are not a get-out-of-jail-free card for bad habits. Your actions need to back up your words. Right, consistency is key. Now, I want to ask about tone of voice. We are talking a lot about words and grammar, but how should I sound when I say this? Should I sound sad, serious, happy? Great question. You definitely do not want to sound happy or casual. If you say, "I take full responsibility," with a big smile, it looks like you don't care. But you also don't want to sound like you are about to cry. You don't want to sound desperate. The goal is to sound composed. Composed means calm and in control of your emotions. You want to use a flat, downward intonation. Listen to the difference. Desperate. "I'm so sorry, I'll fix it. Please don't be mad." High pitch, fast speed. Composed. "I apologize for the error. I will fix it immediately." Lower pitch, steady speed. The composed voice sounds like a news anchor delivering breaking news. Serious, direct, but not panicking. Exactly. A leader does not panic. Even when the building is on fire, the leader says, "Please walk to the exit." When you apologize, you are the leader of that situation. You are leading the solution. I love that image. You are the leader of the solution. Sarah, are there any specific phrases we should avoid completely? Words that are immediate red flags? Yes. There is one word that is very dangerous in business apologies. Misunderstanding. Learners love to say, "It was a misunderstanding," or "There was a miscommunication." Oh, I use that all the time. "Sorry, it was just a misunderstanding." Why is that bad? It is risky because misunderstanding implies that the other person might be confused too. It sounds like you are saying, "Maybe I didn't explain it well, but maybe you didn't listen well." It shares the blame. If you made the mistake, do not call it a misunderstanding. Call it an error. Call it an oversight. If you say to your boss, "I didn't do the report because of a misunderstanding," the boss thinks, "So you didn't understand your job?" It is better to say, "I wasn't clear on the instructions, so I didn't finish the report. Next time I will ask clarifying questions earlier." That is a subtle but important difference. Misunderstanding sounds vague and defensive. "I wasn't clear" owns the gap in knowledge. Right. And another phrase to avoid is "to be honest." "To be honest, I didn't see the email." "To be honest, I forgot." Oh, I hate that one, because it implies that usually you are not honest. Exactly. And it usually comes right before an excuse. To be honest is almost always followed by something you shouldn't say. Just delete "to be honest" from your business vocabulary. Just say the truth without announcing it. Okay, so we are deleting misunderstanding and "to be honest." We are adding oversight, responsibility, and "thank you for your patience." Sarah, I want to ask about one more specific scenario that I think our listeners struggle with. What about canceling plans? We talked about being late or messing up work, but what if I have a meeting scheduled and I just can't make it? Maybe I'm sick or a bigger client needs me.
How do I cancel without burning bridges? This is a high-pressure situation. The key here is to respect the other person's time. If you cancel last minute, you are stealing their time. So the apology needs to be about the value of their time. Don't just say, "Can we reschedule? I'm busy." Use the phrase, "Something unexpected has come up." Something unexpected has come up. That is a great phrase. It is vague enough that you don't need to give details, but specific enough to sound important. Right. You don't need to tell your client, "My stomach hurts." That is too much information. Something unexpected has come up covers everything from illness to emergencies. And then I assume we need the solution part of the AST formula. Spot on. You cannot just cancel. You must offer the new time immediately. This is called taking the initiative. Can we push our meeting to tomorrow at 10 a.m.? Or does Thursday work better for you? By offering specific times, you show that you still want to meet. You are still committed.
So the full package is 1. The softener, "I'm afraid." 2. The vague reason, "Something unexpected has come up." 3. The solution, "Can we move it to Thursday?" That feels very complete. It protects the relationship. You are telling them, "I respect you, even though I have to change plans." Now, Mark, before we wrap up, I want to address the cultural aspect briefly. We have listeners from all over the world: Japan, Brazil, Germany, Vietnam. Punctuality and apologies vary huge amounts between cultures. In some cultures, being 10 minutes late is normal. In others, being 1 minute late is a sin. In English-speaking business culture, especially in the US, UK, Canada, and Australia, time is viewed as money. It is a commodity. Right, we spend time, we waste time, we save time. Exactly. So when you are late, you are wasting their asset. That is why the apology must be concise. If you spend 10 minutes explaining why you are late, you are wasting more time. The most polite thing you can do is apologize quickly, in 10 seconds or less, and then start working. The work is the apology. The work is the apology. I think that is a powerful takeaway. The best way to say sorry is to do a great job. Ideally, yes. So let's do a quick recap of the main tools we added to our toolbox today. Number 1, avoid the excuse trap. Your boss doesn't need the traffic report. Number 2, the pivot. Change "sorry I'm late" to "thank you for your patience." Change "sorry for the delay" to "thank you for bearing with me." Number 3, ownership grammar. Use strong, heavy words like oversight and responsibility. Number 4, the AST formula. Acknowledge, solution, timeline. And number 5, don't use "to be honest" or "misunderstanding." And finally, number 6, when canceling, use "something unexpected has come up" and offer a new time immediately. That is a lot of value in one episode. I feel like I am ready to go make a mistake just so I can use these phrases. Please don't do that, Mark, but if you do, at least you will sound professional. Now, I have a challenge for everyone listening. We always want you to take action. This isn't just entertainment, it is training. For the next 7 days, I want you to conduct a sorry audit. A sorry audit? That sounds official. What do they have to do? I want you to pay attention to how many times you say sorry in a week. Do you say it when someone bumps into you? Do you say it when you ask a question? Do you say it when you take 5 seconds to find a document? Every time you catch yourself saying sorry, pause. Ask yourself, could I change this to "thank you"? Could I change this to "excuse me"? Could I just say nothing and do the work? That is a great challenge. It forces you to be conscious of your words. I bet most of us say sorry 10 times a day without thinking. I bet we do. And if you are brave, try the "thank you for waiting" pivot just once this week. See how the other person reacts. I promise you, you will see their face change. They will smile instead of frown. I am going to try it. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into professional communication, please make sure you are subscribed to the Everyday English podcast. We have so many more episodes coming up that tackle the real problems you face, not just textbook grammar, but the real skills you need for work and life. Yes, hitting that subscribe button helps us keep making these long-form episodes for you. And if you have a specific work situation, maybe a difficult boss or a confusing email, let us know in the comments. We might make an episode just for you. Thank you so much for listening today. Remember, your English doesn't have to be perfect to be professional. It just has to be clear, ownership-driven, and polite. Exactly. Don't make excuses, make progress. Thanks for listening, everyone. See you next time. Bye.